Well, everyone, welcome to Kidney Conversations, and I am yours truly, C. Allen, better known as Chef Benne. When I tell you we're excited today because we have our national nutritionist with us, Michele Hawkins, has entered the studio. Give Michele a big hand, everyone. Yes. Well, listen, guys, before Michele talk, let me just share just a little bit of what's going on. Well, we're excited. It's 2021, and we're excited because next year, in 2022, we're going to be doing a 10-city tour with the Kidney Cafe and Kidney Conversations. And we're excited about that. And we're excited about our sponsors believing in us to take us to 10 cities. But guess what? It's going to happen in 2023. In 2023, the goal is to open kidney cafes in all the urban areas from DC to Atlanta. So we are really excited to be able to bring healthy living at an affordable price into some of our poorest communities so we can be able to change the numbers. Speaking of the numbers, Washington, D.C. alone has the highest rate of kidney failure in the country. And we're going to change that, the C. Allen Foundation, along with our national nutritionist. She's going to be traveling with us. And one of the things that we love about Michele is she's going to be coming up with all of the nutritional facts for us. How much calories are in these different meals that we're going to be preparing. She's going to be sharing that with us and so much more. When you see us in the kitchen together, baby, it's going to be amazing. But I want her to tell you all about Michele Hawkins first, and then we're going to go into her being our national nutritionist. So Michele, talk to our studio audience about who is Michele Hawkins.
Well, hello everybody. How are you? Good to see you, as always. Michele Hawkins is a person that started out as a cosmetologist. I went to school back in, I'm not going to tell you the year, 1980. And I graduated in 9 months. I went to school in the District of Columbia. It was called Calvin A. Beauty Academy. And I knew then that I never wanted a 9 to 5. And so average just wasn't good enough for me. And I'm so grateful for the mentorship that I had from the owner of that school. She put her foot in my you-know-what. And it really set a path for me to make sure that I was giving my best in everything I did.
Yes.
And especially customer service and serving people. That was one of my #1 goals. I didn't know God's plan at the time because I was only 19, you know. So I really didn't understand the plan. I just knew that back then, hairstyling was ching-ching, and that's what I was going for.
And it still is today.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I do love people. I've always loved people, all different types of people. That's just the nature of who I am. So being a cosmetologist, I was afforded the opportunity to meet some phenomenal mentors who really catapulted me in my career. I knew I never wanted to stand behind a chair for a long period of time.
Yes.
So I did go back to school. I took a couple of years in management. I didn't graduate. I did a year and a half. I couldn't take it. It was just too much for my brain. But I did absorb enough information that I learned about business and marketing. So I knew that I needed an accountant and I needed guidance in a lot of things that I didn't know. I opened up my first business. Entrepreneurship has always been in my blood. And I opened up my first business at the age of 28 years young. Wow. And I didn't know what I was doing at all. You know, and through the grace of God, I did last almost 10 years.
Wow.
And
so what were you doing?
Well, actually, I had a full-service salon in Mount Rainier, and offered manicure, pedicures, facials, everything. You know, I just wanted to be different. I didn't want to be average. Okay. So after about 9.5 years, I closed. If I had known what I knew then, if I had known Mr. Bennett, I probably would have had a school. But anyway, long story short, I got into skincare deeply, massage therapy, reflexology, healthier lifestyle living, just different things like that. I'm a mother of 2 phenomenal women now. They were young at the time. I call them cosmetology kids because they grew up in the business. And I started working at different locations as consulting. I really wanted to be a consultant.
Mm-hmm.
My niece told me a long time ago that I needed to teach, and I was like, teach? I don't want to teach. I didn't want to be responsible for nobody else's life. I really didn't.
Yes.
It was enough me being responsible for my own, because I was an interesting young lady.
Okay. All right.
So, but I got into education. I got into teaching cosmetology, and it really was a blessing for me. It really has inspired me to become a better woman.
Yes.
It really has inspired me to become a better server for people and really understand people better.
And that's really good. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a commercial break. And when we come back, now that we know that we have a great history, both of us in cosmetology, we're going to switch gears and go towards nutrition. We just wanted you to know a little bit about her background. But I want you to sit back and relax. Kidney Conversations will return shortly. I am really excited, everyone, and you probably can see it all over my face that I'm sitting here with our national nutritionist, Michele Hawkins. Michele, we talked about the beauty industry, which we love immensely. Next year it'll be 30 years for me. Some of our audience is younger than that. 30 years I have been in the beauty industry, and I'm really excited about that. Now, how did you go to switch gears from the beauty industry to going to take classes in nutrition? Talk to us about that.
Okay. So, in all honesty, it was during the brink of the pandemic, is when the pandemic hit. And I had just opened up a small brick and mortar inside a independent living facility, and it was shut down.
Okay.
I couldn't go into work. I couldn't do anything. And I was like, Lord, now I've always liked to cook, and I've always been cautious about what I eat because I have little vanity issues, things like that.
No.
So I've always been a mindful eater and a healthy eater, but I really wanted to go into nutrition for our community.
Tell me about
for
that.
our people. I feel like we are, especially women too, we're so limited in our thinking on what it is that we can eat and how we should eat and how we should look. And so passionately, I wanted to make a difference. I do believe in certifications because I feel like in our community, you have to show your goods. You have to show your paperwork. You have to show your credentials.
Yes.
And so I was searching through the web, and I found this school. And I talked to the administrator for almost 2 months before I said yes, because I didn't know if it was another one of those schools and blah blah blah.
Take your money, and you don't learn anything. Go ahead.
Everything, and this was cash and carry, and it was my savings. It was my savings, and so I decided to invest in myself yet again because I want to be my best, and I also believe that we as cosmetologists, barbers, we have so much to offer.
Absolutely.
With our craft.
Absolutely.
And it's just continuous education, and you're just investing in yourself.
That's right.
And how much more can you, quote unquote, put on your ticket, right? If you have more to offer your community, and just from the heart, I just wanted to, and I do plan to, and I have the desire to just make a difference in people's lives. I get kind of emotional when I talk about it because I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And cholesterol. And I went to this physician. This man didn't know me. And he immediately, after looking at me, breathing, checked my, didn't really do a thorough exam as far as I was concerned.
Okay.
Wanted to put me on statin, 40 milligrams. And I was like, no. And I was like,
Okay.
And I had met this woman, through the health insurance that I have. And one of the requirements is a wellness insurance through the Obamacare. And you have to be well. And so you have to take classes. So I met this woman and she totally just transformed my life. And it taught me that I did not have to be ill. I didn't have to be 185 pounds. I didn't have to have, you know, high blood pressure. I didn't have to have just the ailments that a lot of us have, you know, in life. Because you know better, you do better.
That's right.
So I got into the school. I have taken every system. We're now on the reproductive system. We did the kidney system. We did the endocrine. We have done the digestive, which I've got my certification in that.
Very good.
We just finished the neuro. But I got a 95 on my final.
Very good.
And so now we're in the reproductive, and that is like another whole spiel. So it's all of the systems that we learn in cosmetology school. It's just more in depth.
And you know what? I'm glad that you said that, because a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, I tell people one of the best things that I could have ever done in 1992 was to come into the beauty industry. And then in 1996, opened the beauty school, because if you go through our cosmetology textbook, I have medical doctor friends who say a lot of things that are in our textbook is in their textbook. There's a lot of things that we have to learn that people in the community have no clue. So they say, hey, you go to barber school, you only thing you learn to do is how to cut hair. No, sir, no, ma'am. You know, we have to learn the bones and structure. We have to learn cells and anatomy. We have to learn physiology. We have to learn chemistry. We have to learn electrology, electricity.
That's right.
You know, so it's important that we understand that from, and this is great, I want y'all to understand this, that from our beauty industry, health experience has aided us a lot when it comes to nutrition and cooking.
That's right.
Talk about that.
That's right. And it's so true what you're saying, you know, it's like a catalyst, you know, and when you, again, for me, when you know more, you do better.
Absolutely.
You know, and I was, you know, by looking at you and reading about you and having the opportunity to really meet you and know you, and it's just been another great experience, because cooking is the foundation. Preparing your meals is the foundation, you know, and it is not hard. You know, it is your life.
That's right.
It's a choice. One of my hashtags is choose for you the life you want.
Did you hear that? Know, choose for you
the life you want.
The life you want. And let me just say this. Thank you, Michele. And let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen. It is crucial. And the reason why we have Michele here today, because we want you to see her face, we want you to hear her story, her background, because as we prepare these meals together, it's about you choosing you. I come from a background where I was in the 6th grade wearing a size 40 husky jeans. So you can imagine, you know, what I went through in the 6th grade, being the biggest boy in class and all of that. But the reality of it is that when we become of age, when we make our own decisions, you have to learn to choose you, ladies and gentlemen. And by choosing you means you have to start to consider what you put into your body. And I think that's very important. And a lot of times when me and Michele get together, you know, we sit and we don't just plan a menu, but we sit and we talk about life lessons, because it's our life lessons that's going to help us bring the food to the table. Because what we talk about, our hashtag is from the ground to the gut. So we try to figure out things, because I want you to go into your, she got some amazing products that she make, and she bring me all kinds of stuff to try with the sea moss and all that.
And the concoction.
Her concoctions and all of that. But the important thing is, everybody, when we cook, it's about cooking with love. But the most important thing is how to live longer, how to change our situation. We have similar backgrounds because we stood on our feet for years, servicing other people. But then we had to realize, and you started talking about it at the beginning, we had to realize how important it was that we bring that health energy to our clients. And that is why we recommend that every salon should have a high blood pressure machine in the salon so you can be able to check your levels while you're right there, because it's important, because that's one of the main reasons for kidney failure.
Yes.
So Michele, talk to me about when you decided to bring that health element to your clients.
Okay.
Talk to me about that piece.
Okay, thank you for that. You know, they've always said, Michele, you skin and, you know, you look, you know, how you look.
Yeah, you look great. We're not going to tell your age today.
Yeah. You know, and you know, so I just talk to them from a place of relation. You know, you build relationships with your customers.
That's right.
You need to build that relationship. They trust us. You know, they trust us actually with their lives. We become their confidants, their psychologists, just about everything. So I just touch on them from just my own experiences. Even during the pandemic, when I was not able to go and service them, I still provided them with the information they needed. And during the pandemic, I lost another 20 pounds.
So I want to ask you something about that, because I get a little nervous. How do you go about talking to your clients who may be obese?
Yeah, it's you have to,
because it's a slippery slope now, because you don't want to feel like you're judging, you know?
Yes.
So tell me, what's your method?
So empathy,
Okay.
not sympathy, but more empathy.
Okay.
And I have become a great listener. And a lot of times, especially women, we're emotional eaters. So if something is relationship or whatever, children.
Men too.
Yes, yes. You know, we eat a lot of times to what we're feeling, and we grab things immediately. Like, I had to learn, when I go in the grocery store, go on the outskirts of the grocery store first, not down the middle. The middle is where all the processed food is, the canned goods, the this, that, all that stuff. The fresh foods are, and the fresh seafood and the fresh meats or whatever, on the
I never
outskirts.
thought about that. That's true. I never thought about that.
So it's something that, you know, I was taught, and I learned that behavior. You know, so I just talk to them from a place of empathy and how they're feeling and what's going on with them, and you know, and a lot of them say, I just gained this weight and I don't know how. And so a lot of times I've become their therapist.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
And I talk to them from a more understanding. I have big women in my family. I'm the smallest of my siblings.
Okay.
You know, and it's because I said I never wanted to be unhealthy. I never wanted to be on medication for other reasons.
Okay.
You know, and I have daughters. You know, and I have grandchildren.
Yes,
That's all. You know, and so it's just important for me to be able to, for my customers and people that I'm just meeting sometime in the street, you know, to be able to, you know, I want to be approachable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the things, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to go into lifestyle changes. Because one of the things that Michele and I have talked about prior to is me coming from being a real big boy, I now know the difference. So opposed to me eating the whole bag of potato chips, I may put a portion size in a bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You can't sit there. You're going to set yourself up if you're watching your good favorite television show and you got that whole bag of chips with you. It's going to set you up. But one of the things that we like to talk about on the Kidney Cafe is how to not even bring the chips out. How about some low sodium popcorn like I did last night, but still don't do the whole bag. Still, you know, do a little bowl of it, you know what I'm saying, make yourself feel a little better, and also take your time when you eat.
Exactly.
So we're gonna take a break now, and we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit more about lifestyle changes here on Kidney Conversations. Okay, so. All right, guys, we're back here, and we were just laughing because it is so true. We're talking about now lifestyle choices and options. Let me tell you something, audience. It is very important to know that we are the captain. Our body is the temple. We have to make sure, and I'm gonna say this, I ain't trying to hurt nobody when I say this, Michele, and Michele and I talked about this, and Michele has an amazing story, but we don't have time to get into that today. But ladies and gentlemen, it first starts in our mind. If you have been told certain things, that you're fat, you're ugly, you're never going to do this, you're never going to do that, and you've been told over and over again, it becomes self-fulfilling prophecy, meaning that you're going to start believing that because you've heard it over and over. The first thing we have to do when it comes to a healthy kind of lifestyle, it starts in our mind. We have to train our mind, and we can't go off of surface stuff. We can't think about, oh, I want my body to be like this by summer, or I want to look like this, I want a six pack. No, what we want to start off with is healthy eating. How do we change what we put into our body? A lot of times, and we're not going to get too deep. I told Michele, we're going to do a little surface today. We're not going to get too deep with it. But it's important for you to understand that how you prepare your meals and what you put into your dishes it will end up turning out to be one of the major focus of how you live your life. If you use a lot of sugar, what's going to happen? If you use a lot of salt, what's going to happen? So for this segment, I want Michele to get more into lifestyle changes. Like for an example, I decided I'm a potato chip person. So because I'm a potato chip person, guess what? I don't have potato chips in the house. So what I'm saying is that oftentimes we have to, like I'm an ice cream person, but now what I do is I do the non-dairy ice cream, but I still don't sit there and eat that whole pint in one session. So it's important for us to understand that what we talk about on the Kidney Cafe often is moderation. We're not asking you to give up everything that you love. What we're saying is, we're saying take little baby steps with it. So if you know that you're a potato chip lover like me, go to the little puffs first, and then go from there to saying, maybe I'll do popcorn. Go from there to, because I noticed that when you're a big boy, I don't know about everyone, but I know me, it's that snacking, it's that crackling sound that I have to have. You know what I'm saying? So it's important, but then we also have to think about, I told Michele not to talk about it today because we're gonna give you too much, but it's something when we use some sugar substitutes are terrible for us, because what it would do is it would send signals to the brain that you even want more sweet things. So it's important for you to do your research before you decide to say, hey, I'm going to do vegan, or I'm going to give up sugar altogether, because your mind is going to start telling you different things because of what we put into our bodies. So Michele, talk to our audience in reference to lifestyle changes. What are some of the changes that you think that they should do in moderation?
That was a great and a great segue. You know, it does start in the mind, and from a nutritional standpoint, because our bodies are our temple, it's so easy for us to, again, go back to old habits. So you have to make a decision. It starts with the decision that I want to be healthy. I want to live better. Who do you want to live better for? Nutrition-wise, our bodies adapt to what we eat, just like Mr. Bennett said, Chet said, the sugar. We already have a certain amount of gluten and secrin in our bodies, so triggers happen. They send the signals from the brain to the gut. So if I'm eating dark chocolate, which in moderation is good for you. That's right. But if I get M&Ms with peanuts, that's not good for me. So I cannot just eat one. I'm going to eat the whole bag. The whole bag. So it's called substitution, and it's a healthy substitute. When you learn how to cook in grapeseed oil, good fats, omega-3s, which are good for your organs, your small intestine. When you eat the omega-6s, your cruciferous vegetables, they're great for the brain health. We all want to be our best in thinking. It helps with Alzheimer's. It helps with all different types of things. It helps with heart disease. And we know cauliflower is one of the most sought after vegetables for kidneys. It has your vitamin A, your vitamin K, your vitamin C, your antioxidants. It's so good for the body. We have cauliflower rice,
which I made this morning.
All right now, we have so many different choices. It's just the decision that I'm going to take baby steps, and I'm going to introduce a new vegetable into my life.
And you know what? And I'm glad she said that, because for cauliflower, we know that that's one of the superfoods for kidney patients and people with kidney disease. And cauliflower is a versatile kind of vegetable, because what happens is that what I like to do is I like to make my pizza, because I love pizza, but I make it with a cauliflower crust, and which is really simple to do. Go to kidneycafe.com. But it's so simple for you to do. But then I also use cauliflower as my rice. Today I made shrimp fried rice with broccoli for an employee here, and I used the cauliflower rice. So it's very good for you, but it also cut down when it comes to the carbohydrates.
Yes, and it brings you energy. When you eat better foods for your system, systematically your body knows, oh, I'm being energized. So if instead of eating iceberg lettuce, let me get arugula, let me get spinach, let me get kale. It's just adjusting your taste. It's so many things that the palate, once we're introduced to the new foods and you understand the benefits, just like the sea moss, people turn their nose up to the sea moss.
Talk to us.
But it's full of anti-inflammatory, it's great for the heart, it's great for the circulatory system, the blood, everything. It's all in preparation. When you're getting ready to do your vegetables, boil your water first. Let your water come to a great boil. So when you put your vegetables, your fresh vegetables in your water, you're blanching them. You're not killing them. You're not taking out all of the nutrients. Instead of cooking in oils, you know how sometimes we cook our greens and stuff, use vegetable-based or plant-based broth. It's great for cooking your vegetables. It's great for cooking your sweet potatoes. If you have a dish I want to introduce you to for sweet potatoes, different things like that. You can soak your foods in it. You can soak your vegetables in it, and it's going to bring out the nutritional factors in those vegetables.
And you know, our time is almost up. Good, Michele. I told Michele not to go too deep, but there she goes. She put on that nutrition hat and she ready to run with it. But let me tell you something. It's really important, because one of the things that we have to talk about often on our shows is sodium. And by you doing things like blanching your vegetables, which is really good, and you heard how she told you how to do it, which is really good, because a lot of times we overcook our vegetables. And I tell you, if you try some of the broccoli, like the broccoli that I did today, I just blanched them quickly, took them right out, so it can still have that crunch and still have that nutritional value to it. But when you get that broccoli, I hate going to certain places, you get broccoli and it's lifeless. You know, you can tell that the nutritional value is gone, all of that. And one thing Michele said I wanted to reiterate before our time is up, and that is that how important it is for us to make the right decisions. I want you to hear me real quick, because I'm that fat boy that will prefer to go, I live off of U Street, so going to places like, I won't say the names, to get my half smokes and all of that. We know the famous places. And then we think about all the sodium content. But let me just tell you something that was real. I just had a birthday, and I told a group of folks to take me to a certain chain restaurant. It wasn't expensive, you know, wasn't all that, you know, and I said, I started eating the blooming onion, and all of a sudden, something said, after eating 2 of them, Michele, I could instantly taste the salt. So guess what, everyone? I decided to look up the nutritional value. It tells us, we all know that a day we shouldn't consume more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium, right?
Right.
And they say the average person would do 34, but they tell you to try to stay at 23. Do you know that, and this is, and I'm not talking bad about the restaurant, I'm just telling you the truth, on their website, the blooming onion is 8,010 milligrams of sodium. That is crazy to me. That's almost 3 days of sodium intake that we're supposed to have. So can you imagine what we do when we go to all these fast food places and scared to look at the nutritional value of it, because we know we out of whack. So what Michele is telling us is that we have to start making decisions. The decision is, are we going to go get on one of these food apps and get food when we can just go right downstairs? But just like we talked about previously, if we prepare our stuff in advance, then we wouldn't have to go through that. Michele, give us your final words. I know you're going to see a lot about Michele, but we only have 1 minute left. My God, time goes so fast.
I know it does, and I just have enjoyed, for real, enjoyed you so much. All I'm gonna tell you is that watch your fats. Your saturated fats are a killer.
That's
Be
right.
very careful. And your monosaturated fats. Watch what you cook your foods in. Just be cautious. Read the ingredients, not the calories, the ingredients, where it says ingredients and it's written out everything that's in there. Make sure that you just start reading your labels. Read your labels. That's your first type of information.
That's good. So let me say this in closing, everyone. I tell my cosmetology and barber students at the award-winning Benne Career Institute, we are trained that we have to read the manufacturer's instructions before we use products, correct?
That's right.
It's the same thing when you're cooking, ladies and gentlemen. You need to read the ingredients that are on there so you can see for yourself what are you taking into your body. Thank you so much, everyone. And I thank Michele Hawkins, our national nutritionist, for being here with us here on Kidney Conversation. I want you to tune in to Kidney Conversations wherever you see it. Make sure you tune in and make sure you bring someone with you, because what we like to do is we like to make sure that we cook from the ground to the gut. Thank you so much, everyone, and have an amazing day.